Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great Friday so far. The weather is beautiful outside. I'm not sure where you're watching this video from, but where I am here in London, Ontario, the weather is beautiful, and I hope that you guys are having a good day so far. Good morning, and I hope everyone's doing well. So, what we are going to talk about before we talk about that, if you, as usual, if you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send me a text message at 647-406-3057 if you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you even want some more help and you want to give me a call. Just send a text to that number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience, and then I'd be more than happy to give you the help that you need, the advice you need, and anything else you need to your situation. I'd be more than happy to help you out. So, what we are going to talk about today, and the title of this video today is The Narcissistic Cycle Was Happening All Throughout the Experience that you went through with the narcissist. Yes, the truth is it was happening from the get-go. Now, you have to understand, and I say this in all of my videos, narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. From the day that they met you, the day that the narcissist met you, the day that you got in contact with the narcissist, you thought that you just met a normal, everyday person who you thought that this person, would be, you guys would build something together in the future. You thought, meaning that you had good thoughts. You entered that relationship with good intentions the whole entire time. The narcissist, on the other hand, always has an agenda. They always have a plan on whose life they are going to blow up. And the truth is, guys, keep this in mind, narcissists do this with every single person that they come in contact with. Now, don't get me wrong, with every single person, because we're all different, we're all human beings, right? Narcissists do the playbook differently to every person, but it's the exact same playbook, just done to different people in different ways, because every human being is different, right? Some people have a higher level of empathy than others. Some people, show their hand a little bit more than others. Some people wear their hearts on their sleeve a little bit more than others, a little bit more obvious. And so narcissists, they have a sixth sense, and they always know who to push and who not to mess with. Narcissists, because they have a sixth sense. It's just who they are, right? Now, I want to let you guys know that you have to keep in mind, I made a video on the Narcissistic Playbook, and if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you getting your knowledge and wanting to learn a little bit more about narcissistic abuse. Now, when it comes down to it, guys, the Narcissistic Playbook, I made a video on that. The Narcissistic Playbook, you have to keep in mind, I'm going to mention it for this video. The Narcissistic Playbook goes love bomb stage, when everything seems amazing, you feel like you're on cloud nine, you feel as though you just met the best person of your life, and you're questioning, why didn't I meet this person before? That's the love bomb stage. And the next stage is the devaluation stage, where you can't understand why everything you did good before is no longer enough. You feel worthless, right? That's the devaluation stage. Now comes the discard, right, where the narcissist just ends the relationship like that, and it happens abruptly. And most of the times, most people don't see it coming. It just happens just like that. You may come home to a house that's empty. You may come home and the narcissist is making out, or having close sexual relations with a person right in front of you. You could come home and, they could be nowhere to be found. You could come home and, or you could send them a message, and then out of nowhere, they send you this long message, thread of text that say they didn't love you all this time. Any of those things could have happened. It doesn't matter which way you cut it. That's the discard. Now, the reason why I mentioned the fact that the narcissistic playbook was happening all throughout the relationship, all throughout your experience you had, is because it was. Now, let me talk about it. So, during the love bomb stage, when everything seems too good to be true, this is the beginning. And the reason why the narcissist love bombs people is because they use this to reel people into them. They use this to get a hold of people. This is where the narcissist, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos, it's almost like a fisherman. When they're fishing, they throw their hook. They throw their hook line into the water, and they're swaying it around, seeing who they can catch, seeing what kind of fish they can catch. And once they get a hold of that fish, they hook them in, and then they throw them into whatever basket or whatever they can throw them into. And then they cook them, or they sell them, or they do whatever they want with them. Same thing with the narcissist. It's an analogy. So if you can understand that, it's an analogy. So the narcissists, they hook people in using the love bomb stage, and this is how they deceive people. This is how the playbook starts, with the love bomb, where they hook people in, and people don't know what's going on because they start spending more time with this person. And during the love bomb stage, I can tell you, the cycle has started. The minute that they met you, it has started. All throughout the experience, it has started. So it looks something like this. They're love bombing you, and then one day, during that love bomb stage, you start to see a little bit of the devaluation stage, where the narcissist, let's say that you guys are having a conversation about something, anything, the weather or whatever. You're having a conversation about something, life, I don't care what it is. You can pick whatever you want. You guys are having a conversation, and then the narcissist, all of a sudden, they stop talking to you, or they give you the silent treatment, or you then ask them another follow-up question, and then they say something to the effect of, "Oh, that's not what I meant." And then and then you're confused, and you're saying, "Yeah, that is what you just said. You just said that." And then they're like, "No, I didn't say that." And then now you're scratching your head like, "What the hell?" And you don't know what's going on, because you think that, perhaps they did forget. Right? That's what you're thinking, right? You're thinking that maybe they just did forget. Maybe I'm just hearing things, right? And this is a piece of the devaluation. Or you say something that they don't like, and then they start brooding. They start, crossing their hands and getting upset and getting angry and showing you the face or the smirk, or you're confused and you're just like, what's going on here? And then now you feel like you feel bad about yourself, right? And that's a part of the devaluation stage. And then, let's say that, throughout the love bomb stage, let's say that, you go, the narcissist says, "Oh, don't come over today. I don't want to see you." And you're scratching like, what did I do wrong? And then you're trying to figure out what happened. And see, the narcissist, they're showing you exactly who they are, right? Even in the love bomb stage, where everything seems too good to be true, right? They're showing you who they are. It's just that during the love bomb, they're showing you little pieces of it. They're showing you little pieces of the cycle. And so when they discard you like that during the love bomb stage, and they say, "Don't come over," or "I don't want to see you today," or you're sending them messages and you're wondering why they're not responding, and you're wondering why, after you sent a message 2 days ago, why out of nowhere now they're saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And then you're just like, I just sent you messages 2 days ago, and why didn't you respond? And then they go back to not responding to you again. Now they give you the silent treatment. So it plays the same exact cycle. Now they send you a text saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" And that's the love bomb right there. And then you reply back, and then now they're devaluing you again. And then they say, "I don't want to talk to you right now." And then now that's a piece of the discard. They discard you right there, right? And so that's happening during the love bomb stage, right? Now, let's say that now the devaluation stage kicks in. Usually the devaluation stage happens, and I made a video on the devaluation stage. You should go watch it if you're new to my channel. Usually the devaluation stage, it usually happens when something instrumental happens. And it's different for everybody, right? It could be maybe you went into business with the narcissist. Maybe you professed to them that you love them. Maybe you did something special for them, like you gave them money, or you helped them, get through school. You helped them study for an exam, or let's say you moved. Maybe you moved in with them, right? Maybe you're new to a city or a country or somewhere, or maybe you're not new. Maybe it's your surroundings, what you're used to. but then you guys move in together because you guys have known each other for a bit, and you sense that, during the love bomb, everything was normal, everything's okay. You think that's just a normal relationship, right? Everything is normal. But unfortunately, now during the devaluation stage, now the narcissist knows that they have you. They know that, okay, this inside their mind, at least, they think that they believe that they have you, right? And so now with regards in the devaluation stage, now the cycle gets ramped up. It gets ramped up a lot more than in the love bomb stage when you saw bits and pieces of the cycle. Now in the devaluation, now they know that they have you where they want you, and so they think, because they think that you're stupid now that they've spent so much time with you. Now during the devaluation stage, now it starts getting ramped up. Now the love bomb starts to get ramped up, perhaps. Or maybe it doesn't get ramped up. Maybe when you've married the narcissist, maybe they start to pull back, right? And they start to not want to spend as much time with you anymore, right? Maybe they start invalidating you a lot more. Maybe in the love bomb stage, you were such a good cook. They said your cooking was amazing. And now during the devaluation stage, all of a sudden, now your cooking's terrible. Or maybe what they even do, and I experienced this with my ex-wife, one thing she did during the devaluation stage is that, she told me how good my cooking was, because I'm a chef, as you know. She told me how good my cooking was, but then one day she starts purchasing a bunch of other food and bringing it into the house, and seeing that my cooking is all the food I cooked for her, it's in the fridge and it's waiting for her to eat, right? And so I didn't realize. I just thought, okay, maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe she forgot that I cooked, and she kept saying, "Oh, I forgot," or "Oh, it's okay. I just decided I want to eat this today." But the truth be told is that the reason she did that was because she was devaluing me. She was invalidating me as a human being. She was disrespecting me, and I didn't want to think anything bad of that. I just thought that, okay, maybe it's just a normal, thing. Maybe she's going through her time of the month, or maybe she's having a difficult time. I don't know. I just thought I've always been the one to be positive in every situation. I didn't want to think anything bad, also because she was my wife, right? But that happens during the devaluation stage. See, now the devaluation stage, they kick things up a notch. Now they know that you don't know what's going to be happening. So maybe they start spending less time with you. Maybe they start spending more time at work. If they do work, if they don't work, maybe they're spending a lot more time away from the house. They're spending a lot more time with their family, their toxic, narcissistic family. Maybe they're spending a lot more time with their friends. Maybe they're just doing other things away from you. They don't do things with you, because now they're showing you exactly who they are. Now half of the mask is turned off, and now you see this part of their face, right? Now this part of their face is showing of the mask, right? Now you cracked half, because before what you saw was maybe that, right? That's maybe what you saw before in the love bomb stage. You got bits and pieces, right? This is the half. And now the devaluation stage is kicked in. Now you see this, right? This is what you're seeing right now. That part of them, right? So during the devaluation stage, now they're invalidating everything that you do. Now nothing you do is ever good enough. Now they're maybe screaming at you if they're an overt narcissist. They're getting in your face, and you're wondering, what the heck is this? You're scratching your head like, he or she has never done this to me. Not even 5 years before. And now you're trying to get back to the love bomb stage, what you saw in the love bomb stage. You're trying to get back to that time where they said your cooking was amazing, or you're trying to get back to that time where you guys spent time together. Maybe you went to the movies, the theaters, or the shows, or the park, and you guys you felt so good during that time. But that's what their goal was, because they knew that in that love bomb that you wouldn't know what was going on. So they used that to hook you in, hoping that you wouldn't think, hoping that you wouldn't question them, right? And so now during the devaluation stage, now they've ramped things up a bit more. Now you start to see a little bit more of who they are, right? Remember that mask also? This is the mask that they wear, right? Now you're seeing a little bit of that. That's what you're seeing right there, right? And now during the devaluation stage, what's happening is that you're probably getting less sleep now. Maybe you're not even sleeping at all. Maybe the narcissist has you running errands. Maybe you run a business with them, and that business makes you work long hours, day and night. long nights, long days, and you're the one doing all the work. And of course, the narcissist is a lazy cow. They can't do anything, right? And so they expect you to do everything. Now you're being burnt out. Maybe your finances are, maybe you're starting to realize that your finances aren't looking so good. And you're starting to scratch your head saying, you know, maybe even say to the narcissist, you know, he or she, you know, what's going on? Have you been contributing to the bills and stuff? And then then they give you the silent treatment. Maybe they don't even give you an answer. Or maybe they wait. Maybe they give you the silent treatment and then they come back and then they say, look at our finances. Why aren't our finances looking so good? And then you say, that's what I was trying to tell you an hour or 2 hours ago. And then they say, you did? And I was like, yeah. And now that's gaslighting, because now they're trying to make you doubt your recollection of events, make you doubt your sense of reality, right? And so maybe if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, maybe they get in your face and, you know, they give you the look, they give you the stare, and then you're just like, now you're starting to wonder what the heck is going on here, right? So that's in the devaluation, and that's when you're seeing a good part of who they are now, because their true colors are starting to show more and more and more and more and more, right? And so, you know, the devaluation stage, you know, and then once in a while during the devaluation, they'll throw a little bit of the love bomb in there. Maybe they'll give you some good sex. Maybe you guys have a bit of good sex. Maybe you guys watch a movie and for once you get some peace. The narcissist, he or she has their hand, or if it's a he has his hand around you, or if it's a she, she's cuddling up nicely against you, and you feel like, okay, so everything's good. Everything's okay. So it's just a normal relationship. So I'm sure everything's good. I don't need to worry. And then soon enough, after they love bombed you during the movie and all that, next thing you know, in bed or something, now they scoot away from you, and you're just like, you're confused. You're just like, what? We just spent this much time together, and all of a sudden they're scooting away from me, and we're in bed together. What? Or maybe maybe it's the next day, and maybe you say hi to them, good morning, and they don't even say good morning to you, and you're just like, what the? And then you ask them a question. You're just like, wife or husband, is everything okay? What's wrong? And then they give you the silent treatment, and then they don't give you an answer. And you're just like, and you're confusing, because whenever the silent treatment happens, the narcissist's goal during the silent treatment, they want you to want them. They want you to apologize for something you didn't even do, right? And once you apologize, that's when the narcissist. So when they're giving the silent treatment, then they're devaluing you, right? They're devaluing you, and then they're gonna throw a little bit of the love bomb in there, right? And then after the love bomb, what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, I don't want to talk to you today. Just leave me alone. And then you're gonna be like, what is going on? So it goes around and around and around in a loop. It happens all throughout the narcissistic experience that you had with them. It happens all throughout. It never stops, because the narcissist is constantly doing, because you have to keep in mind too, and I said this in the beginning, narcissist does a cycle with every single person that they encounter. So maybe while they're devaluing you, they're love bombing someone else. When they discard you, they're devaluing someone else, but they're getting ready to discard that person. Or they're love bombing someone else full on, and then they're see, it goes around in a circle, in a loop. They're always doing that same cycle every single day of their lives. And the truth is, the narcissist doesn't want you to know that it's actually happening, that they're actually doing it. The narcissist doesn't want you to know that when they're at work, when they're with that colleague, wink, wink, right? When they're with that colleague at work, they don't want you to know that they're also invalidating that person too. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're love bombing that person, and then maybe they say to that person, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you, right? Or they say, get out of my way, and they're devaluing them, ready to discard them, ready to quit the job abruptly, and then they just walk away, and their coworkers, when the narcissist walks away, they're just like, what the hell? This person was amazing. They're an amazing worker. They did everything great, but the coworkers knew that something was off, but they're saying, what the heck just happened? Right? So the narcissist does this with everybody, right? right? It's the same cycle. Now, at times, not all the time, but 99% of the time, the narcissist does what is known as a hoover. And I mentioned time and time again, guys, if you're new to this channel, and I made a video on what a hoover is when the narcissist is checking on you. It's when they're trying to get you, it's when they're trying to see if they can abuse you again, bring you back into the cycle again. Let's put it this way for this video. They're seeing if you're ready to go back into the cycle of abuse, because it's a cycle of abuse. That's what it is, right? And they want to see if you're strong enough, or if you've deduced and figured out that they're actually a narcissist. That's what they're doing. And I repeat, do not take the bait when the narcissist tries to hoover you again. Because I can tell you right now, it's going to be 10 times worse. It's going to be 10 times worse, because the narcissist is always doing the cycle with everyone. And when they're doing the cycle with everybody, they're in their mind, in their demon possessed, disordered mind, what they're thinking during the cycle is they're seeing what works right? What they can do, what works. And keep in mind, when the narcissist discarded you, now they know, they remember who you are. Right? They remember what makes you tick. Don't think for a second that the narcissist has forgotten you, because they haven't. They have not forgotten you. They know exactly who you are. Why? Because they know exactly what they are doing, especially when you are giving them supply all throughout the cycle, all throughout the experience that you had with them, right? They knew exactly what they were doing, right? If you don't think they know exactly what they're doing, you need to, honestly, understand it. Just understand it. They know exactly what they are doing, because they are master manipulators. They do this every waking day of their lives. Every single day they do this, all the time. So I just want you guys to know that the narcissistic playbook, it was happening all throughout the experience that you had with the narcissist. If it was your parent from the get-go, I remember when I was born, when I was a baby, one thing my mom said when I was a baby was she showed me all around to the hospital, and she was saying how much of a beautiful baby I was. This is real life. I'm telling you guys, I'm not lying about this. She was showing me around, telling everybody how much of and having everyone look at me and say how much of a beautiful baby I was. And then throughout my life, all she was when I tried to ask her questions and when I was trying to reason with her, all I got was a silent treatment. Right? And I'll try to talk to her. And as a kid, because as a kid, I talked a lot, right? And back then I thought that, people were just people. Some people were mean, some people were nice. That's how I saw the world back then, right? And so during out my life, I tried to, conversate, and at times I would get the silent treatment, and then I would say, "Mom, why aren't you answering me?" And then I would still get the silent treatment, and then she would say things like, "Paul, I'm ignoring you." And then I would be like, why? What did I do? And then I'll be explaining myself. And back then I didn't know what I know now, right? And so during my life, even that was a love bomb. I was being love bombed all around, right? And then I was being devalued until at this point in my life, now I've had to cut ties, right? Because unfortunately that's what it is, right? That's what narcissists do. And I want to tell you guys this again, whether you discard them or they discard, whether you discard them, which is known as a reverse discard, or they discard you, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's still going to turn out bad. They're still going to want to hoover. In fact, if you reverse discard a narcissist, it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to be even worse. Because now when you reverse discard them, you try to make it seem as though you have more power over them. And they always want to be the one with the power. And that's why I've always said on my channel, y'all, listen to me when I tell you this. When the narcissist, when it gets time, do not discard the narcissist. Don't do any of that. Let them discard you. Because then you're showing that then when they discard you, now you can show them how powerful you truly are, right? When they discard you. Now you can show them that you're a force to be reckoned with when they discard you. That it doesn't mean nothing to you. It means shit to you, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Don't let it get to you. Right? Because the narcissist kryptonite is one, when you call them out, and two, when you show them indifference, when you show them that you don't give a crap. That's what the narcissist hates. They hate when they're targets. That's you watching my video. They hate when people catch on to them. They don't like to feel like they're not needed. The spotlight always has to be on them. That's why they do the same playbook, the same cycle over and over. It's their life. It's their life's work. It's everything that they work hard for to achieve, which is the playbook. That's all they got. Otherwise, they have nothing. All right? So yeah, guys, I hope that this video helped you out. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got some more insight and knowledge on the Narcissistic Playbook. If you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. Or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you want to give a call, just send a text to that number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience or you need more help. I'd be more than happy to give you the help that you need. I'd be more than happy to listen to you if you need someone to listen to you. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Yeah, I hope that helped you out, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you so much again for being here, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.